We're live.
Awesome.
Say hello to the world.
Hello, hello.
Hello, world.
I'm gonna click go live on Instagram as well.
Oh, is that like no? They're all there. They're all there. That's not like a secondary thing I need to do, is it? Or you?
I have to do it. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. How strange. There you go.
Hey Sam, how are you doing? We have another Sam in the chat.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to ask me how I'm doing.
Yeah, we've been talking for an hour and I haven't asked you how have you been.
Terribly.
How have you been, Sam?
Terribly. It's getting cold. It's getting awful.
Yeah.
This is normally where I disappear to sunnier sides of the planet.
Where would you like to go?
Cape Town.
Cape Town. I would have guessed it. Yeah.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Just coming into their summertime now. It's spring. You know, baby lambs are being born. People being murdered. Just love it. Love Cape Town. Yeah, I was talking about Cape Town the other night, and I was like, yeah, that if I could just like teleport somewhere, definitely. Where would you go?
I don't know. I've been into Italy a lot, so just kind of feel Italy. I love the weather and the food, and
yeah,
probably Italy.
My friend's literally talking to me about Italy right now over at WhatsApp.
I haven't been in so many countries, but probably Spain as well. Yeah,
Spain's pretty cool. What do you think of this backdrop? Am I in the fucking Matrix right now?
Yes, metaverse. You're like metaverse. You're in metaverse inside of metaverse.
I don't know whether it's because of the you know bars at the bottom. We need something different, but or exactly the same. It just continues, and I'm just like a floating head. You know, maybe I should wear a green T-shirt, and then I'd just be a floating head.
Yeah. I was actually like downloading an asset. I wanted to create a video with it, but I couldn't. Where should I send it to you? Yeah, I am. Like maybe I send it to you on Discord, and you tell me if you know it.
I was going to say put it here, but I can't download it from here, and
yeah,
we can't show it. We're not allowed to show it, or what?
You could maybe you can also set it as your background before we start. It's quite funny.
Oh, I see. I got you. Let's do this.
Yeah, that would match with mine also pretty good.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but your head is a bit too big for that, scale.
No harm in trying. Okay, right. I will duplicate. Oh, what did that do? I just pressed Command D and something happened. Copy, paste.
Do Command AI, not Command D.
Yeah, exactly. And you ready? That didn't have the impact I wanted it to. Why did it do that? See, look at it. See what?
Yeah.
I hate OBS.
Yeah.
Why is that there?
Who knows this background, guys? Well, it's a matrix right now.
I don't even know what. Hang on. Anyone know this background? It's too light. It's too light for my white balance.
Yeah, from the headquarters.
There we go. That's right.
We have Sam joining us from the headquarters.
I need to like whiten this a little bit. How do I do that?
No.
Oh no, turn it off.
No.
Here we go.
It was pretty good. Yeah, no, it's better.
There, that's what you want. More
yeah.
White. More white.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, this is Webflow's background. The thing is, I have
Yeah.
It's a little bit off from my liking. Oh, hello. God, it's quite bright. They're in a bright white studio there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, it's way too bright.
You gotta have it really bright to, have that quality.
Anyway, are we
Yeah.
gonna go? No interesting news for this week, unfortunately. Well, obviously, interesting AI news, but nothing.
Yeah. Anything on your side?
No. Just building. Well, I mean, my exciting week is part of the news. It's the new model that's been released. So
Yeah.
I can my week's events have been deferred until later on.
Yeah. Mine has been quite busy with client work, so yeah, we're doing some exciting stuff, but I can't show that. That's the most. Yeah, it's so frustrating because of some clients don't want to share the work, which makes sense before launching their product. And yeah, we're preparing a client for a huge launch, so it's yeah, that's something that I will show in the next few weeks.
Okay, good. I'm just trying to position.
Yeah. You were ready before I sent you that image, and then I sent you that image, and I feel like I broke the show by sending you in a spiral.
I'm looking at you on the screen right now, and I'm looking at the camera, and now I'm looking at you on the screen. Is it better that I've moved my monitor?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's my monitor.
No, that
actually looks,
a little bit of it is fine. I do this, by the way, also sometimes, like a little bit, but mine is black.
You can kind of there's my monitor. It kind of works. It's like I'm working at my machine. It's like I'm actually looking at something. Anyway, we're going way off track, right? Let's get the show on the road. It's neither funny nor professional. How is everyone doing? How is the chat doing over your end? I haven't even got there.
We don't have a lot of comments. We have
hi guys. We've got Robert Petros. In the I haven't got my glasses on. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Hey. Right.
Hey Robert. Hi. Cool. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's get to business. Should we?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay. So this week, Google dropped their new video generation tool. Claude introduced a cheap and fast model that is good at coding. NVIDIA started shipping their mini computer that is built for AI. And as a shocker, vibe coding might be dead already. This and a lot more in this week's AI. I'm Kavarza.
And I am Sam. And this is a week in AI design and dev.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, this week we don't have a lot of news, crazy ones like last week, but we have quite a few decent ones. Starting with, maybe we should start with the Google Veo. All right, so this is a response to the one that OpenAI released, right? Kind of. I feel like, yeah.
Probably.
So as a response to Sora 2, the video generation tool from OpenAI, Google released their new Veo 3.1 model that is pretty good, and I made my first video with it.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I'm so sorry for what we are going to put you through. Let me bring it up, and oh my God.
The future is here, and it's being shaped by the incredible advancements in artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Awful. I don't know why it feels so awkward, but it speaks better English than me.
I mean, it sounds nothing like you, though.
No.
So talk me through that. How did you do that so quickly? Because you literally signed up just before the show.
Yeah.
What did you provide it?
So first of all, I couldn't sign up with my normal email that is like a professional, Google Workspace email, which is paid. I'm paying like $400, actually maybe $600 for myself and my team, but I couldn't use that. It asked me to use my private Gmail, which I did. I signed up for the Google One. This is my first time hearing of it. Google One, just like Apple One. For Google One, and the first month is free. I signed up and then I just gave it a screenshot of literally this, like myself in this scenario. And I said, make a video about Cmd+AI and say this. I meant something else. And it said something else. So it didn't say what I wanted to say. I know it's 8 seconds, maybe, because what I had planned to say was maybe longer than 8 seconds. But yeah, it just through Google Gemini, just sign up for Google Gemini, and there you can create a image, ask the AI just like, ChatGPT, or create video. So what is nice, it's all under one UI. It's in one place.
Because it looks really good. I mean, like, just to flash
the future is here, and it's
like it to give it one image and that's what it comes up with.
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, it also preserved a lot of like the stuff. Like my shirt is kind of like the same, but it added some artifacts. I noticed that the plants are roughly the same, but it kind of, I see that it is not my room. It has a lot of like resemblance of the room that I'm in, but it's not literally my. So it kind of like has some artifacts, so it's not like 100% correct, but it's really impressive.
Really good.
But I would still not use it. Not like I wouldn't feel like when I say I wouldn't use it, if I would want to say something, I would say it instead of doing it with that. But I have a really cool use case for it. So last week, I don't know if you've seen my Instagram or not. I mentioned it even after the show. I said, like, I'm going to shoot my friends. We went for laser tag. So just to play laser tag. And something funny happened. I got in a conversation with the laser tag guy. So when you go there, regardless of like how good you are, there are always like a friend from the friend group who hasn't played laser tag. And for that reason, the owner has to give all of us a rundown of how everything works and the rules and, the introduction. And he gets a vest, you wear a vest with the laser gun and with the sensors, and he has to explain it all. So imagine he does this, I don't know, like 10 times a day. Now you might know what I'm going with this. So he has to repeat himself and explain the same thing over and over and again, like shoot here, shoot there. This is where the sensors are. Don't do this, do that. Things like this. So I got in a conversation with him, and we got to a point that it was very interesting. The idea that we could use an AI to transform, so he can record himself and we can transform it using AI and make something like potentially interesting out of it. So if he just records himself with a camera and say it and then show it on a big TV, people might not be that, interested to watch that. But we thought maybe with AI we could, this is where it gets a little bit tricky with these artifacts, but if we could reliably take that video and just add effects to it, would be amazing. For example, he does the full explanation, but then we turn him into Shrek or Darth Vader or like, any other character. Copyrights is another issue we need to talk because he would be using it in his shop, right? So I don't know, that's probably like commercial use because it's in his shop, right? But he doesn't publish it. Oh, anyway, so I thought, like, with today's tech, what is really cool that I could like at least tackle this challenge of making a video of him in multiple themes, right? And then create an app. And I have no idea on what platform, but I know with vibe coding and, having you and having I could like get enough help, like for you guys to help me at the right direction, to point me at the right direction. And then we could create an app that he could have on his TV, right? In portrait mode, and people could like choose one of the themes and get the full rundown of how things work in the theme that they want. And maybe even with some logic, like if they have some questions, they would just tap on the screen and they would get, a video response from the guy in, for that question. So that is a use case for AI. And what is also an interesting point, he thought every time that people would watch that video, he would have to pay that, what was it, the cost of like OpenAI Sora 2 API, like 50 cents per second, something like this. He asked me, how much does it cost? I was like, 50 cents per second. And in his head, it would cost 50 cents per second every time people would watch it. But obviously we know that's not how it is. But it's also interesting that a lot of people, like normal people, and this guy is like even a little bit techie, maybe a bit outdated, but still techie. He didn't know how that would work, right? If you own the video or you don't have the ownership of the video. So there are still a lot of questions, and to me, it feels like we're so freaking early. And just knowing that we can do these things, it got me really excited. And he gave me like extra games, by the way. I got discount. I got it.
Free consultancy session paid off.
Yes, it did pay off. And I'm sure he will give me many more games if I end up like creating something for him. But yeah, I should try to tackle this. It's really fun. This is like somewhere that I don't feel like, oh, AI, I'm not gonna use it. No, this is somewhere that I'm like actually genuinely interested in using AI, and I think it's a good use case.
Not bad. Why isn't he just recorded that intro anyway? I have my own.
Boring. It gets boring. Yeah.
What just to do to what? Well, who boring for who?
For the people probably not paying attention.
Yeah, no one pays attention. I've seen it before. Like, you watch a video explaining things, it's just not engaging. So why would this be more engaging? Because I'm trying to take so as a product kind of person, I always just, technology comes last, right? Technology is the last thing to get at it, right? Why would you think the special effects aspect of this will make it less boring?
Yes, that's the idea. What we could do is, this is like over engineering the shit out of it. We could have a camera analyze the faces of the people, and if they don't pay attention, just be like, you didn't pay attention, you have to watch. The entire group has to watch it over again because somebody didn't pay attention.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, something like that is the sort of stuff you find at theme parks, right? And they have an introduction, and it's all like whatever. But they would have to go out and shoot that, and pay for costumes, pay for special effects, pay for the filming. Whereas, it just brings exciting opportunities like that to the everyman, So I'm all for that. Did you know about VO3 before meeting with him then, or what? Like, was it just coincidence?
No, I knew about the Sora 2.
Okay, fine.
We got it when I go to places like this. I talk kind of like business with them, and also distribution, and kind of like social media. Let's talk business. So it's like, how do people know about you? Like, how do your clients get aware of you existing in the first place? I ask this question quite often. It's just genuinely interesting to me. And then obviously we talked about websites and web, and then it got into AI because, and then he talked about like his challenges with business. One of them being like doing a lot of these introductions or like explainer things over and over again. And I don't know, maybe maybe the video from Google is not the answer, and maybe we need to buy him a robot from Elon Musk.
Yeah, I think that might be it. It might be it. Saying that, we didn't cover it, but there is another team of people building these robots, and they released a promo video last week of it, like folding clothes and like putting, like they're actually releasing real footage. And have you seen it? I don't know what the company is. But
I saw the 3D video, like kind of like the 3D render. I sent it to my 3D guy.
Oh no, this ain't the 3D render. This is literally, they've got a house that they test everything in, and they've got robots like walking around the house, like doing actual things. It's wild. I'll find it. I bet you're a hoot and a holler when you're out trying to go play laser tag, and you're there though. So how do people find you in your business? just get out there and have fun, Kabaza, you know.
Yeah, it's just typical me asking about that.
Yeah, wow.
But I want to try this, but I noticed I can't, kind of like these AI models, they don't edit your existing video, they just take an image and create the video, but we need to edit the existing video.
Yeah, there'll be ways. Like, yeah, comfy UI, I feel like can take inputs and then modify and whatever. But yeah, and this is why I love all the sort of, you're seeing the benefit, I think, of just exploring new technologies, no matter what it is and what field. Because what I just love doing is I love listening to people's problems and then using my like database of like knowledge on tools and what they can do. I can sort of figure out something to do, like something to solve that, like to solve their challenge. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you wouldn't have, may not have been able to think about that if all you did was live in the world of web, as an example. You know, not to say there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying this is what I enjoy. I enjoy just like going into my brain and like just thinking about like how can that be solved and what tool and how would I use it and stuff. You know.
Yeah, and like honestly, this gets me also into another topic. We should talk about vibe coding later on.
We will talk about vibe coding.
We will talk about vibe coding later on. But when you go to these places, any place, anywhere you go, if you talk to the owners or even like the people who work at these places, so it's whether it's a bar or like, you know, laser tag, like a theme park, anything at all, and you look at like the way they run operations, and they have like things that they do over and over again. And you know what I'm getting with this, into like automations and things like this. A lot of these businesses use like super old software, like really bad software that doesn't have like proper API, software that is just like hard to use, and a lot of things that they do over and over again that could be done with automation. And as building software is getting easier, these people might like start doing that themselves, or they, you know, as it gets easier, more people can get into building software in whatever means that is, vibe coding being one of them, and then these problems can be solved. And we have, my point being, we have a shit ton of them. We have so much software to build that is, to me, near infinite amount of software that we need to build. That until AGI.
It's, you know, this is my whole sales pitch at the moment. This is where I'm sort of pushing my company to do, is like, building software used to cost a lot of money, right? To build bespoke software. That's why SaaS was born. That's why, you know, to have some sort of internal computer infrastructure was like so costly. So AWS was like, well, we're just going to provide the infrastructure. We're going to distribute it all over the world, and you won't have to store your, you know, your website or whatever it is, your infrastructure on premises. You can just store it in the cloud. Everywhere's good, you know, and it kind of spawned from there. And SaaS said, look, why build your own piece of software when you can just rent it from us for a low price of $3.99 or whatever it is, right? So this is my proposition to say, right, the tables have turned now. It's now much simpler, much cheaper to build your own software, like the way that you want it. Because there was always a compromise with SaaS. There was always like, well, I like most of what it does, but I don't use X, Y, Z, I don't use this, that, and the other. Or like, I doesn't do exactly what I want it to do, but it mostly gets there. And those are the conversations I'm having with my clients at the moment. It's like, they compromise on the software that they're having to use. It doesn't do exactly what they want, or the UX is just terrible.
Yeah.
That all being said, it's like, now you can just build the software as you want it. It doesn't cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is what it used to cost. It can cost far less than that. And sooner or later, you won't be asking people like me to build that software, because you'll be building it yourself. You'll be prompting it. Right now, we're still in this middle period of like, well, you still need an engineering degree. We're going to get into some of that sort of stuff later on, actually. You still need an engineering degree to be able to vibe code. People are learning that you can't just vibe code things as it stands right now, but we totally will get there. So that's my business. That's my proposition, just build your own software, big or small. Problem comes of how you price that. How do you price something that realistically took you a week to build? Truthfully, probably less. How do you price that at a reasonable rate to say, well, yeah, it's still going to cost you a few grand, because there's a lot of expertise that go into that, but it didn't take me 3 months to do. But anyway.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Only a quick one, just to say that we hit 200 subscribers on YouTube, which is really cool. We're actually way more now, because I wrote this down like the beginning of the week, or I think we're now on 230. So just wanted to say thanks to everyone for subscribing and watching our content and liking it and stuff, because it's it's nice to see something. It means a lot. And I don't know, I can't remember how quickly it took me to grow my my personal channel, or I don't know how long it took you to get to 200 subs, but it just feels like, it's building up. This community is building up a bit of momentum, and just want to say thank you for it. And sky's the limit,
Yeah, you're early in this, and one day you'd be like, oh, I remember when they said 200, and now they are at 200 million or something.
200 million. yeah. Well, saying that, like, I wanted to mention the 200 thing, but at the same time, it's an opportunity just to kind of reflect as well, because we started out just kind of being very, because I can see the development, and I'm really enjoying kind of where it is right now. Whereas we used to just do the news, and my focus was to get out the news and then move on to the next one. Whereas now it's like the news is simply a jumping off point for a discussion, and that's what I really like doing.
Yeah, and we did this without having a show. Like we used to meet on Fridays. So like we used to meet on Fridays and talk about business, talk about like sometimes just life, sometimes about what's going on, and then we would just nerd out. Geek out.
Yeah, because what was the original name? Was it Geek Out Live or something like that? Or,
I think
or Vibe Out. I think maybe Vibe. I don't know, but like, But then AI started.
I have Peace Out.
Because then AI started to get really big, and I started to be like, well, because we obviously want to talk about things that we're interested in, that's relevant to our online personas, because I mean, to be fair, I am my online persona. I friggin' love coding. I was at a party on Friday, and I was literally there I was the last person there, me and my friends just drinking, lounging on a sofa. What were we talking about? Friggin' AI and code. It's like, I'm at a party. Do you know what I mean? It's almost as bad as you going to like laser tag and talking to about business opportunities. I live and breathe. I genuinely love, and I think we've actually got a comment from someone saying like they've subscribed because they see our genuine interest in what we talk about. We're not just regurgitating stuff for likes and views, and we're not hopping on a trend for the sake of that. For better or worse, I just cannot operate in that way. I need to have a love, and there are some downsides that come with that, in that it just becomes hard to progress in a lot of things, because it's like, well, if I'm not interested in it, some people they can literally just follow the numbers and just, you know, for lack of a better word, sell their soul to like do something. But
yeah,
I can't. I think that genuine nature, I think comes across. So
I know what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Anyway, so you're happy 200, and here's to the next 200.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, and also, yeah, if you want to sponsor the show, if you want to help us grow, I know we're not offering a tremendous amount, but you know, my subscribers over on Twitter hear about this. If hello Twitter, Kabaza's audience on Twitter as well get streamed to all these different platforms, and so we are somewhat further afield than just that 200, but obviously the core audience here is on YouTube. So yeah. Anyway, sponsorships welcome if you want to chat to us and support the show. Cool.
Yeah.
Onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
So we kind of alluded to this sort of stuff. A recent report from Crust Data suggests that vibe coding is dying, or is it? I guess I should share my screen, right? And it was already being shared. So we kind of just did touch on this sort of thing. Here's the graph that they produced, and this is I don't know about you, but this is a suspicious drop for Lovable. Almost like something happened. Either they started not reporting on certain data, or they stopped a certain marketing spend, or they fired a certain marketing team or something. It feels like this drop that's happened is probably more true to their numbers than what was way up here. You can't really see my map. You can't see my mouse at all, can you? But I'm on the hill. I'm on the high bit. Anyway,
so on the hill you see 35 million. These are like 35 million users on the site monthly, right?
Yeah. And now it's settled to around 20. So, you know,
which is a crazy number, because we know like there are roughly 45 million developers out there, which is also a huge number. It's not a small number. There are probably more designers, by the way. Probably more designers. Well, when I say more designers, I don't mean like necessarily like Figma designers. I mean like on a broader sense, anybody who would doodle something on the computer.
That was probably because of the Design Joy thing. That was such a great marketing, because that's the thing. Lovable are great at marketing. They're not the best tool, right? They just look nicer, and their online personality is great. But that Design Joy battle that they did, you know, beating Webflow, I think that really opened the doors to a big audience. You know,
I agree. So yeah, the trend shows that Lovable is dying. Is that true?
Well, I think that, as I said, like I think their Lovable is dying is just the clickbait. They are. Then it's this guy's article, by the way, and he basically he talks more about the broad idea of vibe coding and whether vibe coding is dying. So I thought it'd be quite fun to kind of sort of speculate, well, what is vibe coding? What is it good for? And why do these people think it's dying exactly? Because obviously it's a very exciting prospect for people who don't know how to code to now suddenly be able to code, right? Or not even code. Sorry, they don't care about coding. That's the key point in all this. They don't care about coding. They just want their product, and I think that is such an attractive proposition for anyone. Like it's an attractive proposition for me. Like I, as a hardcore coder, I love to code, but I'm able to flex my UX mindset. You know, how best to work. I'm building a tool for someone at the moment, and it's just a simple Google Drive integration. And I vibed the first part of it. Well, I say vibe. Where do you draw the line? Because at the end of the day, I planned it. I used Claude Code. No, I used Taskmaster to plan out the feature. But ultimately, going through phase by phase, I was like, look, I'm just trusting you right now because I literally didn't know how to build such a feature.
Yeah.
I definitely vibed it from that perspective. But, you know, the UX that it came up with wasn't optimal. You know, there was a couple of different ways to do things. We already had an integrations page. It was like, why am I being shown this? Long story short, I was able to flex my UX design skills. And you ask me quite often, like, what do I do whilst I'm waiting for my AI? I'm using the app mostly and clicking around, finding bugs and thinking from a UX perspective, what's being built and does this make sense? Like, I'm able to flex those muscles whilst I'm coding, you know? So I don't know where I was going with all that, but ultimately, like, I do see a future where writing code is not the outcome. Saying that, what's his name? Code Garden or something like this did release a video saying that he's done with like AI coding and that he wants to take a break from it because he's not getting fulfillment out of the AI doing the work, and that is totally fine. Like, we all like what we like, you know.
Yeah.
But I do think coding will be relegated to hobbyists as AI gets better, as the tooling gets better, as our methodologies and our workflows start to solidify and get better. You know, you've got spec-driven development at the moment and context engineering and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't 100% agree with that, by the way.
With
I'm
what,
not
exactly?
with like coding becoming something for hobbyists.
Mm-hmm.
I believe like driving a car will become something for hobbyists, because ultimately there is like no need. I believe like for driving a car in I don't know whatever time, like in 10 years.
But think of the goal of I think you're describing exactly the same thing. The goal
Yes,
is exactly the same. It's something in the middle
getting
to
A
get
to
to the
B.
outcome.
Yeah,
A to B.
yeah,
Idea
yeah.
to product.
Yes and no. That's where I would disagree. That it seems like with coding, it might seem like that we just want a outcome, like a product as an outcome, and however we get there, it doesn't matter. Like if you code it or build it with Webflow, which is like, you know, a UI for code, or you just vibe it shouldn't matter. But I think there is like more into it. That's where I would disagree. So for the first part of like building products that are mostly user facing, I agree that it's like going to die. Like this way of writing code is going to disappear, but we still have to develop a lot like for the infrastructure, and those will continue to use like coders. Like imagine from CPU architecture, like the things that teams at ARM do. I don't know much about them, but I know enough that these things won't be like replaced by AI, will be assisted, yes, but I don't think these are things, because these are so low level. And when I say low level, I mean in programming sense of things, low level, so also complex, and they are the mistakes that you might make will be they are going to be far more important. So you cannot have like mistakes, like because like on that architecture level, you have to optimize for the smallest things, and there are, from what I understand, a lot of work to be done. We are nowhere near, you know, being perfect there. So we need to optimize those like lower levels. And we are talking about AI taking over coding. We are talking about the upmost level, which is right now we are talking mostly about front end, which is like the most exposed, you know, version of coding, and also the most amount of code for it exists publicly for AI to learn from it. And the deeper we go, the more important the work gets, and also the less code is available, and the more professional and like very what is like you have to be an expert in that area to do meaningful work. So I think that will stay for a long time.
Yeah, I guess I could have saved you an explanation there and saying, yeah, I'm strictly talking about software development. Of course, there's going to need AI is not going to take away from code in general. I'm talking about like software engineering, and you'll always get those people who want to go and tinker and get, you know, in the context of software engineering, there will be people who still want to get down as close to the bare metal. It's not, because it's still abstracted. But saying all that, we're talking about vibe coding, and is it dying, right? And like, I think that I don't think it's dying. I think it's just the hype's just dying off. Like, people get excited, people want to try things. Like, there's this wave of people that get really not offended, but they get really like uppity about the fact that people are jumping on a new and exciting tool. It's like, what do you expect? Like, people want to see if it's right for them. People want to see if it does this and that and the other. So you're going to get an influx of users that explore this stuff. And sometimes this just takes a little while to figure it out. Like, you're not going to, I think about, you know, if you've got kids, which you do, you know, your kids are probably going to want, oh, Dad, can you buy me this paint set? Or Dad, can you buy me this science kit? And you're like, you're gonna get it for them, and they're gonna pick it up, and they're gonna play with it once, and then they're never gonna see it again. Because it's just not for them. But you've got to allow them to explore that, you know. So and sometimes they'll take them 3 months, and then they'll move on to the next thing. You know, this is kind of what we do. I don't know what people kind of expect with all this sort of stuff. So I think that people have thought, okay, I can build tools. Realistically, I think they're probably coming to the terms with the fact that it can only go as far as prototyping, and even then your app is at risk of probably getting hacked or something like that. Like I said, it's still a big responsibility. Lovable have sold you the dream of building whatever you want, but the reality of actually getting there is slightly more involved than
this. Yeah, this is like an awesome thing to note and to mention, that the idea of building an app, it's different from like actually building an app
and maintaining it.
And like the idea of like building a prototype and like getting a prototype is far like further away than actually shipping something. Because when you have a prototype, like you built a prototype for, you know, a potential client, and you did it in probably a few days, right?
Yeah.
But we are thinking like that the actual app is going to take probably 6 months minimum, right?
I don't know. I'm quietly confident, but you know, it won't take a day. You know, it won't take a few days. You know, it's going to take, you know, at least
it takes significantly more, like order of magnitude more. That's the point. It's order of magnitude more from prototype to final product, even though the prototype might resemble like 90% of the product at the first glance. Like, you look at it and you're like, it's 90% there, but that just looks like that extra 10% that you don't see is much more difficult to handle. And also there are like a lot of more like edge cases and like special use cases that you have to cover, and that might require like rethinking the entire thing. So building apps is not that easy.
No,
that's the point.
And going back to that UX piece as well, you know, you mentioned about mostly designers jumping on Lovable, and that's fair. But you have an idea for an app, and then you start to vibe it out, and you suddenly realize the nuances or intricacies that goes in, particularly from a UX perspective. Like, yeah, it does what I want to do, but it just doesn't work the way I want it to do. You know, there's so much that you need to think about. It's so much more involved than the dream of whatever. So if you know what you're doing, it took me as a developer a while to get my rhythm with vibe coding. And now, lo and behold, I'm kicking projects off in Replit, but then very quickly moving on to, I get the starting point done in Replit, and then I take it into Claude Code, because that's where I feel like it's done its purpose. That's where I feel like I can get the most amount of it, plus be efficient with my money, because Replit costs a lot of money. But yeah, it's not the dream. It doesn't. It skips the journey to get that. As with all of this stuff does. Like Apple are fantastic at that. They sell you the dream of like having all of your devices working, calling friends and family, and doing all this sort of stuff. Yeah. They sell you the dream, or they sell you the vision. But the realistic nature. I mean, we're talking about products here, so it's not like you have to work to like call your family or anything, but it's this idea. It's simple marketing. Sell them the dream, and then that's the best.
From a marketing perspective, that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. Because it can happen. It can happen, and that's. Oh, we're going to get back into the YouTube rabbit hole, but a lot of people on YouTube are selling you the dream. Like they're inspiring you with the dream. Especially when you talk about money, money influencers and stuff like that, they're selling you this dream, but the 0.001% of people who might even just sniff at that success metric that they're painting, we think it's going to be us. It's going to be us that is going to make it, but we don't realize that so many people will fail at that, So sell them the dream. It's the easiest thing to market. But anyway, back to the vibe coding thing, and that graph exactly, it probably makes sense, but like it's a bit clickbaity in that it's not necessarily dying. It's just less people are finding that it's relevant for them. They're not building the tools that they want to build, whether that's they just can't get it to work for them, or the strategic angle of that product isn't quite there. It doesn't work for them, or like they just, I thought it might help me, but it doesn't,
So there is another graph that I shared, another tweet. Maybe you can also open that.
Where did you send it?
It's just in the docs.
The Anton?
Yeah. And I want to mention something. So we spoke so this is about lovable dying or not dying. Well, that's not actually the way I want. It's more about vibe coding in general, if it's dying or not. And lovable is riding this wave really well. It doesn't matter if the news is good or bad. They are just good at spinning it the way that they want, and kind of like ride the wave and on social media and get the views. So they shared also this other chart that shows their new paying customers that is just going up. But this is just their new paying customers. That doesn't show any churn being, users leaving. We don't see that. We just know that there are more new paying customers, but we don't know how many are leaving. So I would take this with a grain of salt. I'm not saying they are lying, but it's a private company. We don't see much of like what is actually happening inside.
Yeah, it's all just drama.
It is drama. It is drama.
But I'm trying to turn this conversation into something that's more like less clickbaity and more just relevant to my perspective on vibe coding and coding in general. I just think that I think people are coming to that realization that it's not really working out the way they intended, and there's nothing really wrong with that. I think to be honest, I'm finding a way to get off of vibe coding. I want to try and replicate Replit's, how they build apps, and then I'll be all in on Claude Code or whatever. Next month it will be 4.6 GLM 4.6. But yeah,
from what I see, this is like contributing to the dev world in a positive way. So regardless of people staying or not staying with Lovable, the fact that more people come to Lovable, try to build a product, I think is a net positive. Even if they get frustrated, they see, okay, like building an app is actually difficult because there are so many, like, as you said, like UX and other points that people don't see. And once you get into it, you will have some appreciation for how difficult it is to build apps. And also for the ones who, decide that it is not for them, they will gain that appreciation and they leave. That's fine. That's a net positive. And for the ones who come in and they started, doing it, and they fall in love with all that details and all that things that you need to build, because it's not easy. So if it's not easy, it's probably, sometimes it's worthwhile trying it. And I think a lot of people will graduate from Lovable. This is something we wanted to talk about, and they become developers, and that is also a net positive. So all in all together, this is net positive for the dev world, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, and also, those people who did gain that appreciation, it might be not only gaining an appreciation, but you might be gaining a client because they're like, I tried vibe coding this thing and I couldn't do it. So can you help me, please? So
I can fix your vibe coded app.
It's a deeper subject altogether. But I think for whatever reason, a lot of what we see, people are trying to sniff out drama, sniff out negativity from something that's just not negative. There's nothing negative. There's nothing wrong with it. People just want to shoot up. Shoot up, is that punch up? I don't know. They just want to
punch down,
punch up, punch down, similar sort of thing. Like they just want to they want to punch up to try and be better than that person or that company or whatever. Or punching down is actually terrible. But anyway, whatever. I don't know where we're going with this, but interesting bit of drama that's going on. More power to you if you're a vibe coder. No judgment from me. And if you struggled, and give me a shout, Jupe in the draft.com. Or us a shout, we'll sort your app out.
I mean, I mentioned this before. A client of mine, they delivered kind of like a prototype of the website that they wanted us to design and build for them in Webflow. They delivered it to us in Lovable. So they used Lovable to get kind of like it was a prototype. It was kind of like a wireframe. They were like, we thought like we want to have like 3 boxes to explain this part of the copy. And the copy was also written by the AI from Lovable. And that was not final, but it was something that they could start with. It was funny. They could use Relume as well, but people used Lovable because they are just so known. So
I was going to say marketing probably led them to Lovable, and really they probably didn't even know Relume was there. And I bet that was better for you as well, because it's like, cool, we can see what we need to build. Much easier to slap down a fixed price on something when you can actually see what it is you're building. You still might get it wrong, but it's people expect you to fix price something. You literally have no idea what they want to build. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's move on to the next one. Faster. Hang on, let me start that again. A faster and cheaper model that is great at coding is here. It's Haiku 4.5 from Claude, and it might become my default model for all my coding needs. It genuinely has. I've been using this all week. Well, I say all week. It launched pretty much yesterday. I've been using it all day yesterday. And it's really, really friggin' fast. And it's better than Sonnet was like 5 months ago. That's
great. So, okay, just to understand, Claude, Claude have Sonnet, they have Haiku, and what was the name of Opus. So the idea is that the Opus is the frontier model, like the best and most expensive model, right?
Seemingly.
Theoretically. And then we have Sonnet, which is like the medium range model. And then we have Haiku, that is the light, fast, cheap model. But now the light, fast, cheap model is better than the other two.
The light, fast, and cheap model is better than what Sonnet was 6 months ago, 5 months ago. So Haiku now is 33.3% on software engineering, Sweetbench verified, whereas Sonnet 4 which is what we were using day to day, is 72.7. So it's better than what Sonnet 4 is. Sonnet 4.5 has since been released, which is now better than Opus and previous Sonnet versions. So basically what we're saying here is that we've got and the speed is just incredible. It's really, really freaking good. But the interesting thing is here, it's not as good as GPT-5 codecs. It's better than GPT-5 on the Sweetbench verified, and much better than Gemini 2.5 Pro. These are comparable to frontier models, whereas this is their fast and cheap model. They're not comparing it to, realistically, this should compare it to GPT-5 Mini or Gemini 2.5 Flash, but it's not. It's comparing it to the other companies' frontier models. So it's a really, really good model to have. And yeah, we used to praise Sonnet 4. Remember when Opus 4 and Sonnet 4 first came out, it was like, whoa. Now Haiku 4.5, which is the cheap, fast model, is better than that again. So here we go. Yeah, cool. 5 months ago, Claude Sonnet 4 was state of the art. Today, Haiku 4.5 matches its coding performance at 1/3 of the cost. Now, it has increased in price by like $1, which is, a bit of a shame to see, because you want stuff to get cheaper. It's $1 in, $5 out, where it used to be 70 cents in and then $3 out or something like that, or $4 out. So it is, I want to go backwards actually. It is more expensive than what it was before, but it is a really good model. And this means, so not a lot of people have this, but actually this is to do with agents. So what I've done is I have put all of my sub-agents as Haiku. So sub-agents, if you don't know what they are, they're kind of specialists that run in their own context window. So I have a TypeScript specialist that goes and fixes all my TypeScript errors. Mm-hmm. They don't need they get told what to do. They don't need a lot of thinking power. They just need to churn out whatever it is they're good at. So to have, and that was the first thing I did. But before even reading the suggestions, before even reading any of the reviews, I'm like, okay, cool. Whack all my sub-agents as Haiku. And because of that speed as well, not a lot of people have it, but you've got the Claude Chrome plugin. So it's great. It's just great at like quick summarization data. It's just a really freaking good model, to be fair, for those sorts of tasks. Now, what I want to be able to, what they used to have before Sonnet just became the best, is used to have Opus plan mode that would degrade to Sonnet whenever it is you implemented stuff, because that's what you kind of want. You want the big boys to do all the thinking, the planning, the heavy grunt work, and then you want to delegate to the runts, the guys who can just do the legwork, right? Yeah. And that's what I loved. I would do the plan mode Opus and then go to Sonnet. They've removed that since Sonnet just became the de facto. I want that back now, right? I want plan mode Sonnet and then Haiku. And then when I do the work, it goes to Haiku, so it can just churn it out and not use a lot of tokens or whatever. So what I've done, I've built my own / command called plan. So when I go /plan, you can choose your model that plan mode runs in. So I leave my default model as Haiku. /plan, do this, that, and the other, and that gets set as Sonnet then. That's Sonnet 4.5, so it will run that. And then when I actually do the work, or when I don't run the plan when I don't run plan command. So I've kind of rebuilt that thing, that system that I used. But yeah, it's just great. It's just a testament to how far we've come, really. In just 5 months, what was the groundbreaking frontier model, state-of-the-art model, is now being beaten by little cheap thing, Yeah. Saying all that, I've cancelled my Claude Code subscription. I'm going to commit to GLM 4.6 next month. But this definitely made it slightly more tempting to stay on Claude Code. But we'll see how we get on with 4.6.
I'm gonna go use it in Cursor to build a GSAP animation
A
for a
GSAP
client.
animation, yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah, like GSAP's easy, right? You don't need a lot of thinking for that. You don't need a lot of like. It's not, you know what you want to build. It's not like it needs to take into account a massive code base. You're just working within one file, right?
Yeah,
So
it's one file, like roughly 300 lines of code. It's not doing exactly what I want. So I want to try this new model. And I checked in Cursor. It's available. So if anybody is wondering, that's where I have it, and it's just simply available.
Yeah. Let's move on to NVIDIA Spark. Did you want to take this one, or should I? Or
well, we yeah, you. So okay, let me start, and then you can go with like the one that you had as well. So I don't know what this mini supercomputer does, but I just know it's for AI, and I guess it's for local AI, and I kind of want to get it. Can you explain what it does?
For $4,000? For $4,000? You just want to get it?
Yeah, it was $3,000, by the way, when they announced it. But still, if I had the money, I would. Look how cool it is. It's so tiny and it's so powerful for how tiny it is.
I'm not so sure about this gold pebble. Like it's like a stone wall. I'm not so sure about that. But
so
I'm going to be totally frank. Like this only fell on my radar 2-3 weeks ago, something like that, maybe a little bit more. And this is a tiny consumer grade PC announced by NVIDIA, because and again, I don't know the history of NVIDIA. Do they make PCs normally? There's a custom OS you can see. Like, this is running on a Mac, so I just don't even know anymore. Is this a Mac? That's running on a Mac.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah.
So is it? Oh, yeah. See, this is where my limited knowledge comes into play. So NVIDIA basically have released this tiny little computer. 128 gigs of unified memory. It's basically built specifically for AI, right? Local AI. And it is quite pricey. Like $4,000 is quite a lot of money. But
what can it run? This is like the main question. Like, can it run Haiku 4.5?
Absolutely. Like this is I watched a review of it, like a genuine review by, I'm going to get him up because he's only a small channel. He's bigger than us, but like, shout out to him. He's doing some great work. Bihan Bowen, I think that's how you say his name. But this,
try to clean up my camera.
Can you hear that, by the way?
We'll do some more
testing.
Okay. I'm going to, yeah.
How
so
he
was running Comfy UI, which is for generating video. It's like a node-based thing that he was running on it, and it was doing fine. Like it was doing really, really. I want to see the LLM usage because I think he was getting into I want to see his token usage because, again, here we go. You can just see it live. He's got another competitive product on the left here. So I think it's marginally faster. This one, is it GeForce or GMX, whatever it's called? I don't know. So you can see the results here. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what to make of this speed because I think we're used to, obviously hitting ChatGPT and it just flying out. Like, are we supposed to be that impressed with this? Is this really worth, like, locally running your AI? There is argument to say that there is, because I don't know. I sort of see a future. We talk about, AI being in this bubble and not earning any money and this and that. I sort of see a future where it's like these services are just heavily degraded, or they've got to they've got to scale down with them, or they've got to do something where like 4.67 tokens a second. So to me, that's not that impressive.
Yeah.
But from a local LLM perspective, like, people chime in where they want to. Like, I think this is, for the size that it is as well, for the amount of wattage that it consumes, I think this is fine.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Can you chain them?
I don't know, actually.
Like run them in parallel. That That would be cool. Well,
oh, he's getting
looking,
64 here. Look, he's getting 64 with OSS. That's GPT OSS. So I should have skipped through to his honest thoughts here, but yeah, go watch that video if you want a bit more of a genuine deep dive into it. But yeah, I kind of want one too. I don't know whether I want this one, but there's been times where I would love just a little box just to know that I'm not hitting any server and that I'm coding completely off the grid. Do you know what I mean? Offline. Where was it? There was something recently, maybe my internet down or something. And I just thought, man, I'm like stuck right now. Like, I mean, I could handwrite the code, but who's doing that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's something in my gut that tells me that one day we will wish we had bought something like this sooner rather than later, because ChatGPT goes down, all of these things start like degraded service. We don't get they're not pumping as much money or whatever. So people resorting to buying machines like this, and then but there's a shortage for some reason. Yeah. And it's like, fuck, we should have bought them when they were readily available. Bowen here, he walked into Best Buy to buy it, right? He was surprised. He thought there was going to be queues around the wall, around the corner or whatever. He was able just to walk in, buy it, walk out, all done.
That's fun, yeah.
So maybe we're living in times where that's even possible, but maybe it won't be too long before something happens, and we're wishing we had walked into Best Buy and bought it when it was freely available.
Yeah, but $4,000, I kind of want to have it because it's so cute and I like the hardware, but I don't know if I could use something that slow. Another interesting hardware news that also happened.
100 tokens per second isn't too bad for GPT OSS. Yeah. It's too bad, but yeah. Anyway,
we had another hardware news that is kind of. I'm trying to make it related. M5 just dropped. Apple just dropped a new MacBook with just base M5, and they are advertising it for precisely that, for on-device AI. So what I would love to see is like a comparison to see how big of a difference that would make. Maybe not necessarily with the base M5, maybe something like M5 Pro or like M5 Max when they drop that. I don't know, maybe later this month, but that would be really cool, because if I could run like a model on my Mac without any extra hardware, that would be really cool. Another thing that I find super fun and like a cool thing about hardware like this, a separate thing, is it kind of has like a summary of all human knowledge, if you think about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
It's crazy to think about, like all the books, all the knowledge. Yes, it will hallucinate. Yes, it's not like perfect, but let's not buy the idea that these companies are trying to sell us. Just look at the tech and how impressive it is that we have a mathematical model of all human knowledge packed in a machine like this. And if you could go back in time and you could bring this with you and somehow, be able to turn it on with how crazy it would be, have all that knowledge.
It's crazy. We take it for granted totally, because again, you take the calculator as the simplest example. Like, that was unfathomable that we could do such advanced mathematics just at any moment's notice. Normally I say there was probably once upon a time we need a pen and paper, you need a friggin' abacus. Just to say though, like I'm running how do I stop screen sharing, present screen sharing? I'm running a llama right now, right? Which is this is completely offline. I just asked it to write a 500-word story. Let's go. Write a sexy sequel. 3,000 words.
And this is local on
this
your
is completely
M1?
local, right? This is locally. So it's doing some thinking here.
Is it an M1 machine that you have?
This is M1. This is M1 Max, right? So
M1 Max. And what software is that you're
this
using?
is Olama. Look at it go.
Ah, yeah. That's quite fast. Yeah, that's actually really good.
And
I could use that.
It does make me want to try GLM. I think GLM is open source. Like, can I download? How do I do this? I don't use Olama normally, but you with Cursor, you've got an Olama.
Do you have that as well? I didn't know.
Cursor settings, network. No, I'm sure there's an Olama.
Yeah, you have a long list, but I don't see Olama.
Okay, models.
Yeah.
View all models.
But
Is
you
it under
can
API
add-
keys though? Is it under API keys?
Well, you can add, whatever model that you need. You can add a custom model.
You can add AWS Bedrock, Azure OpenAI. I'm sure there's a way to pipe Cursor into Olama. Or maybe I'll look into that and do a video on it. But
can you do open router to Cursor?
you can do open. Yeah, you can do open router. You have to use the OpenAI thing. I think you just put your open router API key in the OpenAI key spot. I think, where are we? Stop screen share, present, screen share, window, cursor, boom, boom, boom. So here you've got OpenAI. Can you see that, or is it too small?
It's quite small, but yeah. Guys, if you're on Instagram and if you can't see it properly, or on Twitter, just hop on YouTube. We are live on YouTube as well. There you can go full screen mode, all glorious. And
so in API keys, this is where you put your open router API key. And then I think you override it here. But I wonder if there's, again, a way to override this to a local host with a specific port. And then that's how you get it into Olama. But there must be some tool that allows you to pipe your requests through to Olama. But
that's cool. Can you run Cursor locally? Would you do that then locally, right?
Yeah. So any kind of AI request would be cool to Olama. Yeah. So maybe I can play around with that and see if I can create
that would be really cool.
Because we're talking about the NVIDIA Spark here, and you want something more fast. But I've got the M1 Max here, which is probably being outdone by the M5 already. Maybe not I think the Pro. I think it outdoes the Pro, maybe not the Max. But the point is, it won't be long before we've got some pretty good enough, machines that can are good enough. The world's information in our pocket, or whether we're coding or something like that. So, I did have a look on Amazon, but I can't see it on Amazon or anything like that. So I think we're still shit out of luck when it comes to the UK. I think it's just a US thing. Wrong link. But NVIDIA Spark, pretty cool.
NVIDIA Spark. I'm excited about it. I'm excited. I will watch a bunch of videos, and I will watch some videos on M5 as well. This is like the M5. And do you see what they did here?
Yeah.
With the 5. So,
well, here's the thing. I told you,
I
right?
really love this.
If you're in Europe, and you're maybe not the MacBook, but the iPad, if you're in Europe, you don't get a plug socket. You don't get a plug.
Why?
I think it's a green thing. I think it's like a e-waste thing.
Yeah. Not even a cable. Do I get a cable?
You get a cable.
Okay. But I have a 120 or 140 watt charger for my MacBook. I have the M1 Pro, the 16 version. So it's a it's also a really big charger that I don't bring anywhere with myself, by the way, because it's so big and it has one port.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's
the
I'm
thing.
not too sad.
You're not too sad. Oh,
no,
that's good to know.
I honestly, if they would, I know it's Apple and they don't do that, but if they would charge me less and not include the charger, I'd be fine. Because go on Amazon, there are a bunch of these newer version, what's it called? Like they have a technology name.
Gallium nitride.
Yes, exactly. The charger are smaller, and I have 2 of them actually. Around the house, they're smaller and they do the job, and they have multiple ports. Anyway, so M5. All I wanted to say here, M5 was dropped, and it feels so wrong.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and then you've got M3 Ultra. You got M3 Ultra in that lineup as the best model. It's the best one is M3 Ultra.
Yeah, and then M5, M4 Pro and Max, and then M3 Ultra. They started really good with these chips, and now it's not that it's bad, but it got confusing, and it's I don't know. They could have done a better job.
I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah, me neither.
So actually, just on that real quick, is I've got an M1 M4 Pro laptop.
M1 Pro or Max?
Pro. Okay.
Okay.
And I've had that for years and years and years and years, right? And I always wondered, doing what we do, doing what as coders do, what was I missing out on? For the Max, always tempted to go the Max. Always, I know you've got the Max, right?
I have the Pro. I have.
Okay. I thought you said, you got 16-inch Pro.
Yeah, 16-inch. Okay. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM, though. Yeah.
So as the M1 computers start to get very old now, I treated myself. I just bought the best laptop you could have bought, MacBook you could have bought, M1 obviously, and it cost $1,000, something like that, right? Bought it off a guy down the pub. It was very funny. And
you got it secondhand?
Oh, of course, yeah. I only bought it a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
And I would be honest, I know doing what we do, right? Coders, designers, vibe coders, not really noticing anything at all, no difference at all. Yeah. So if you are ever thinking, do I get the M1? Oh, sorry, base model, the Pro, or the Max? I don't think we will never need the Max. Come at me in the comments otherwise, but we do not need the Max at all. It might be nice, but even now, the M1, I know we YouTubers have a habit of not thinking about the future, but we are in the future right now, and I'm using the best of the best, and my M1 Pro is perfectly capable performing the same as the M1 Max. We never need it. So I definitely think the Pro, I wouldn't go down. I would hesitate to go down to the base model. I kind of say this in my M4 Air video that I made. You could get away with it if you're tight on cash and you want something to get the work done, but I think you would inevitably upgrade to a Pro, but never a Max.
Yeah, I agree. So I would say if you are a student and if you don't do anything heavy with any heavy software, I wouldn't even call Figma heavy, by the way. Anything really?
I think Figma is sluggish, dude.
Yeah, but it's essentially just a RAM eater Chrome. What is Figma? Figma is just the Chrome app. It's based on Chromium, and it's a bunch of frames that you have. It's all eating your RAM. So I would say if you are a student and if you are a designer and if you are on a budget, don't go for the 13-inch. Go for the 15-inch. and then go for something maybe with 16 gigabytes of RAM. And I wouldn't honestly go for 24 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Because I think this is the point of like diminishing return.
Yeah.
I mean, these are in dollar. I'm in the Europe. So if I go to the like German version of the site, these are like significantly more expensive. I would honestly buy this as a student, but
this is the Air, right? Yeah.
Yes, the Air. But if you want to do something more future proof, and I have the M1 Pro, and I bought this in 2022, and it's still like a working horse. It does everything I want it to do, and if it lags, which does sometimes because I open 500 tabs and I have like literally 3 instances of Figma with each having like 5+ tabs, right? So I am like an extremely heavy user with 3 monitors. When it lags, all it needs is a restart, nothing else, and it's fine. It's really fine. Even my battery is dead. My battery has been saying that I should go for a service for over a year. Since over a year ago, it's telling me to go and change it. I haven't done it because, it's doing just fine.
I have a thing about this. I have a thing about power, but anyway.
Yeah. So if you want something powerful and future-proof, I mentioned my machine to say that it's future-proof. I've been using it for over than 3 years, and it's just completely fine. I would go for one of these two, and I wouldn't go honestly for the 14-inch because the screen is too small for me.
I think
16-inch.
I've been thinking about this as well, just the last couple of days. Like, if you travel, if you move around a lot, go for the 14-inch.
Yeah.
But if you are mostly working from home, you connect to a monitor, like go for this. Definitely go for the 16-inch.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to, but like I think you'll really see the benefit of going smaller if you travel a lot, because everyone I know's backs hurt. Traveling with the 16-inch. Like, yeah,
this is heavy. And this is coming, by the way, from a lifelong PC user. And I have my setup is, I even have let me actually like geek out a bit about this. I have this controller. So this is a switch for my PC and Mac. So I can, with a press of a button, change all my peripherals from Mac to my PC. And I use both of them. And I've been a PC user for years, and something that really changed the way I work was that this MacBook Pro, the 16, like the 16 part makes a big difference, that I can unplug it from everything, even from power, even with this like relatively dead battery, and I can reliably get work done, not just do some email and like moving a few pixels here and there. No, like actual work, because the trackpad is that good, the keyboard is that good, the multitasking is that good, that I can reliably do this. I could not like do that with a Windows laptop. I could not do like reliable actual work. With some Windows laptops, you could no, not really. And at that point, when you are talking about that level, you're over like 4K USD for a Windows laptop. So get a Mac if you don't already. I think this is like the best computer, or like the best tech gadget that I have ever purchased, this MacBook.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how well, we're on M1s, right? I did the maths on, yearly costs, or even monthly costs, even like 4 years, I think is a sensible amount of time. I think we're at 4 years now, or 5 years, right? Our Macs cost us something like a few hundred a year. When you break it down like that, it's like, holy crap. Like, these are value, quite literally, machines.
Yes.
The fact, if you think about paying, I think it was something like £30 for me a month. If you think about, you can get a computer for £30 a month, like a really good computer for 30. It's just, that's crazy. Like, it's almost like they should be worth a lot more, but obviously no one will pay for it.
And the Macs, just a small note on that is for somebody, and this is very wrong, but for somebody for whatever reason wants to play games on their Mac, don't do that. But if you want to buy a Mac, it has to be a Mac, and you want to sometime play some games on it, then you need the Macs. Or if you do something with, obviously, with a lot of like 3D or a lot of video, and
or
you don't
even
need
video,
to see-
like
yeah.
I'm not seeing much benefit at all doing video. Granted, I'm using like A and B roll, like I'm not using tons and tons of layers and effects and things like that. So there is that aspect, but like, yeah, think of that, how heavy you are editing. But I would also add music production as well. They're quite greedy with all that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, our world, not even worth considering a Max really, unless you're a fucking, you just will not see the benefit. Like, you might think you're getting the benefit, but you just do not see it. You cannot see it. The thing I was
sorry. No, go.
I was going to say about the power thing, right?
Yeah.
So are you connected to USB-C?
Yes. And I'm running like one of the monitors through the USB-C.
Yeah. Because
like peripherals.
Because you've got the 16-inch, you probably it's 167 watt power, right?
140 watt power.
140. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Like, you're probably killing your battery running it through USB-C because it's not able to provide enough power that it's consuming. So because you can only charge a maximum 100 watts through USB-C. So you might consider, like, I mean, you're screwed now because your battery needs replacing or whatever, but like the MagSafe, because it can charge it at the 440 watts.
Interesting point.
Yeah. You're like that. I used to, where is it? I've got, remember dongle life, right? I used to put my power into a dongle. I just wanted this really clean setup where I could just have one cable. And so I had a dongle where my USB-C power cable went into that, and then the dongle went into my computer. That dongle killed it wasn't like a direct throughput, and I think I was probably charging it at like 30 watts or something like this because it was just killing it. You could never have that amount of throughput. But yeah, thinking about like it trying to work and charge at the same time, whereas Macs are really good at like, holding their charge and not eating the battery or using the battery if you're plugged in. So, but if your monitors and things like that are constantly drawing power, it's constantly having to charge it back up because it's eating away at the battery. But anyway.
So that's a good point. But it is telling me that it's fully charged and the power source is power adapter. But you're making a good point. Can't we see like what is the wattage that the USB-C is getting?
If you go to the Apple sign at the top left and hold Alt.
And hold Alt.
Yeah, you should see one of them change. About should change to system information.
Yeah.
And then go to power.
Oh, I used to come here from somewhere else. Yeah.
Scroll right down. It should see. It looks like 52.
Which one is your
top? Up. The one right at the top that's indented. Yeah. See, it says wattage 52.
Interesting. Yeah.
So mine says 140. Yours is saying 52. Whoa.
Yeah. So 50. So on idle, these Macs use like around 30. So I can very well imagine like going over 52. That means the battery has been helping.
Why are you only charging at 52 watts?
Because I'm also running it through a dongle because of what I just showed up with.
You're doing the same thing that I was doing. It's killing your power.
Yeah. Now I see. Okay. Now I see.
Your computer is only charging at 52 watts.
So guys, if you do this, you can also check this. Yeah. Okay. Good point.
Yeah. Anyway, we nerded out for a moment there, didn't we?
Yeah. I love this. Yeah. So that's cool.
Let's let's wind down with weird AI jobs.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a discussion. Actually, I just came across this interesting video. Let me get it on the screen. Copy link. Make sure I'm muted. Yeah, I am muted. Good. Could you imagine working alongside your CEO day in, day out, watching their every move in order to clone them with their digital twin, or you are the next founding member vibe coder for a company that is yet to raise any funding? This is about weird AI jobs and how dystopian they're getting, basically. So I came across this video. Where's it gone?
You want to show it? Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Came across this video by Joshua Fluke, and he's looking at this weird job application where a CEO literally just wants you to follow him around. You need to be this expert at just agents, AI, all things AI. You just shadow him in meetings, and just basically, I mean, to be honest, I kind of low key think this would be an amazing job, but I think it's this dystopian idea of what he wants to do with this information. So you'll build agents to respond to emails. This CEO just seemingly wants to completely remove himself from the equation of doing his job.
But is that not like the job of like a business person? Like as a businessman, you want to the tasks that you just repeat, don't you want to like potentially give them to somebody who can do it just as good as you and maybe even better?
Yeah,
and then move on.
Well, obviously he's identified the things that he does repetitively that he just doesn't need. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like you systemize as much as possible. I just think that it's an interesting, and by the way, I haven't said whether this is right or wrong. I think low-key, I would love this job just to just build systems and things like that to replace him. But I think he's going I think this guy is going a little bit beyond, like the, what do I mean? Like, he just wants to disappear. Like, he doesn't necessarily want to improve on anything. He basically just doesn't want to do his job anymore. And there is room for a CEO. I do think there is room for a CEO. There's a room for a CEO to set the vision of the company, to steer it in a direction. And if he's basically replacing himself with all of that, he won't be clued into the company at all, because I do think there's an element of like knowing how things get done in order to then improve them or guide or whatever. But he's just, this is the success metrics here. 5 production agents live by day 30% reduction in VP calendar load time, 2 external media features or conference demos by month 6. And interestingly, we mentioned a couple of times in this show about like us being early and stuff like that. I'm often surprised. At how some people who you wouldn't expect them to be like all in on AI or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. It makes me question whether we are actually early. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So this, like my main issue with this is context. Like there is no AI, no amount of like AI that can match even remotely the context of a human being in this specific need. Like as a CEO, as even like even if you're like leading a small team, you need to have such a huge context and also memory of the past, and also what you want to do in the future. The context is just not there, because with AI and automation, you do these smaller things. Like you can reply to emails, but having all that context and do it, I don't see any AI doing this. But like the direction is very interesting.
It is really interesting.
And I mean, I want this with my team. So I have a project manager on my team, and I want her to be the second me. I want her to reply to clients the way that I would reply, and potentially better, right? I want to replace myself. And I saw this also on a Mr. Beast video, where Mr. Beast mentioned this, that with a bunch of his friends that, are in his videos, he did this. He trained them to be second him. So he trusts that if somebody goes to them and they ask them a question, they answer the way that Mr. Beast would. And if they show him a piece of work that they've done, they would note on it the way Mr. Beast himself would do, because they spent such a significant amount of time with him that they would know what he would reply to a certain type of content. And that is that shadowing exactly that the CEO is looking for, right?
I think that you're always going to encounter new information, new challenges, right? And again, like identifying repeatable systems and processes and whatever. Like, I answer the same email like every single day. Everyone asks me the same questions. Okay, build a process for it. I do the same thing every single week, and it takes an hour of my time. Okay, build an automation for it. Something like this. So I totally get where you can identify the same thing, that you can tell someone, by the way, when someone asks you this, say that. That's fine, but it will never be able to think for you. Like, it might be able to give you a best estimate, but I don't think as a CEO I could ever trust that AI is ever going to do the right thing all of the time based on previous information. Like, I just don't trust that it's ever going to be able to do that, because again, AI is derivative. It's based on previous information. That's where I think this falls over, that they're never going to innovate. They're never going to progress. I hope that it's only doing this on repeatable systems. I hope that part of this application process is like identify things that I do over and over and over again, because and I totally commend that. But it's where the innovation happens is where I'm hesitant to offset to a complete AI. I don't want a robot doing my job. Like, And I often encounter new things a lot, or at least it's the same thing, but with a new perspective, or a slight twist, But then there's this last one here, which is an expert level vibe coder, basically, which goes back to what we were saying earlier. If we go to here, they want 4 years software engineering experience. So, and strong Python, Node, TypeScript, Postgres, MongoDB knowledge, all this kind of stuff. They're essentially what I interpret this as is that they want a developer who knows what they're doing, but they want the efficiencies of vibe coding. Whatever that, I don't know whether they understand vibe coding correctly, but they just want an efficient AI coder. Also, probably someone like me, to be honest. I'll probably be a good candidate for this, because like I'm totally into coding, but I'm not afraid to use AI, and I sort of feel like I know where the efficiencies are gained and where the efficiencies are lost with AI coding. So we're seeing more and more of these. I hope that this becomes a series or something of just weird AI jobs. But it'd be interesting to keep note of. If you see anything, bring it to the table, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we have a comment saying, so how someone remember that someone else emailed him or texted him if AI responds to that someone else. It's kind of, the AI also need to, the AI should probably like give you a summary of what it had done at the end of the day. Like a lot of managers do this, by the way, like to the upper management, they give a summary of what is done, so they know where is everyone at.
Or it's just a case of like, if someone asks, then you step in. Do you know what I mean? Or the AI is tuned to sort of flag when it's like, I don't know. Like, you've got to tell an AI, just because AI always wants to please you. It's a very eager gentleman, wants to please you all the time. So you've got to tell it, like, just if you're not sure, flag it. Don't just, and then maybe the CEO can step in or something like that. It goes back to what you were saying last week. What were you saying last week? It was about plan mode in Cursor.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you didn't want it to do the work, and you wanted it to tell you step by step. And you don't need plan mode to do that. You just need to tell the AI what you want it to do for you. But for whatever reason, we don't think to do that, right? If you don't want it to do something, or if you do want it to do something, you've just got to say it, rather than just assume that it's going to just mind read,
So are you saying that AI is making us better communicators?
I think better communicators are going to be the standout prompt engineers. I know people hate that terminology, but I think better communicators, they're so used to knowing where people fail and where they like, oh shit, it goes back to this GPT hybrid thinking mode, like tell it to think or tell it to back off. Tell it to not think as hard, and then it will go to GPT-5 Lite, right? I'm used to working with freelancers. I'm used to like kind of telling them like, don't spend too long on this. This isn't going to make or break this project, this whatever it is you're doing. So hopefully people will get better at communicating, because they're going to be frustrated that AI is not doing what they want it to do.
So there is a level of micromanagement in it. So you tell AI to, how to spend the time and what to focus on. And
and they will never complain about micromanagement.
They're happy to do it. The more general you are with the prompt, the worse of response you get. We know this since day one. So you have to be specific. And when we say be a better communicator, in this case is seeing the whole picture, reason for yourself, and not let the AI to do reasoning for you. And with that you can get something more specific out of it.
Yeah, totally. Anything else from your end?
No, but I'm trying to make another video.
Where is it up to?
It's just taking time.
How long have we got? How long do we need to store for?
Oh my. So I don't know. It's let me see if I can upload it, and then we play this new one. It's so racist.
It's racist.
It's so fucking
You didn't intend it to be racist though, obviously.
No, it gave me an accent, even though
it's
it doesn't
racist
have
towards you.
Yeah, it's racist towards me because it gave me an accent without me specifying anything. Just assumed my accent.
Cheek of it, the absolute cheek of it. Well, whilst we're waiting, scan that QR code, give it that link to our YouTube. Let's get to 300. Let's get to 300 before the next week. That'd be amazing.
So are you ready for this? Let's watch the first one first, because we have a bunch of like new people also. Let's watch the first video I made, and then we watch the second one, okay?
The future is here, and it's being shaped by the incredible advancements in artificial intelligence.
So I gave the same image back to Gemini, and I said I was more specific about what to say. I gave it like what I wanted to say in quotes, and it did it, but let's watch it.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Cmd+AI Show, and join us next week for all the news in AI design and dev.
Diabolical.
Right. Well, that's all we got time for. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Command AI Show. Join us next week for all the news in AI design and dev. I've been Sam.
And I've been Kavarza.
Keep on vibing.
Peace out.